When someone references the music they listen to, they're generally talking about which genre of today's music they enjoy the most, like pop or rock or even folk music. But when fans of classical music ask what kind of music they enjoy, they think of different styles of music, like impressionist, modernist, romantic, things like that. And it's good to know these different styles because classical fans will be listening for them when you play. Two of the most distinct ones are Baroque and Romantic. Baroque is the very structured style. It's architecturally sound. It's very happy, blissful, and it's meant to be an intellectual experience. The other style is Romantic. It came after the Baroque period, and it shunned the intellectual style and went more for an emotional experience within the music. Both are very important in musical history. The first that I mentioned was the Baroque period. It started in 1650, went until the classical period in the 1700s. Some of the famous composers from this period were Handel, Bach, and Vivaldi. Again, the pieces were very architecturally sound. Some examples of them are Bach's cello suites and Vivaldi's The Four Seasons. So how can a musician portray this style so their listeners can tell what it is? Well, the first thing you're going to do is use short bow strokes. So you got your bow, and you're going to do like that. It's off the string, and they're very short. And the purpose of using that is because it showcases the architecture by redirecting the listener's focus from the notes themselves, the overall structure of them. And generally, this style of music has a moderately fast tempo. It's very solid, so don't rush and don't drag. So you keep a solid tempo. And then the other style I mentioned was the Romantic one. It started in 1820 solely with Beethoven's works because he was really upset that he was deaf, so he put all his emotion into his work to express how painful it was that a musician couldn't hear. And then this period ended with the Modernists around 1920. It put an emphasis on emotional experience and the changes in human feeling. It tended to have bolder musical lines and abstract instrumentation. Examples of it are Dvorak's Cello Concerto in B minor and Berlioz's Symphony. One of them actually had 3 full orchestras in one piece. It's really loud. Then you can portray this style by having strong dynamic changes. This helps inflict the emotional experience. So to have those strong dynamic changes, you're again going to be using your bow. You're going to have a strong pressure on your string, and you're going to pull, basically pull the string all the way, keep it on the string, and very strong, loud. But you also have to make sure that you're keeping the emotion in quiet pieces, because you can still have quiet emotions. So the way you're going to make sure you have those strong emotions when you're quiet is to move your bow closer to the fingerboard. And then also when you're playing romantic music, try to imagine what you're playing. Like if you're playing an angry piece, don't be thinking about the sugar plum fairies or rainbows or like ponies and stuff. Think about angry stuff. So in summary, there are different styles of music. You should know them because your fans are listening for them. The Baroque and Romantic are extremely dominant, and they have nothing in common, basically. The Baroque was architecturally sound and meant to be an intellectual experience. You had short bow strokes and a moderately fast tempo. The Romantic came after the Baroque, and it was also structurally correct, but it had bolder musical lines, and it was meant to convey an emotional message. And Romantic had strong contrasting dynamics, and it was for emotion. These are just some of the characteristics that make up 2 of the most distinct styles, and even though the styles are completely contrasting, they're both part of what we call classical music today.